My current plan is setting up this space that I'm in right now. It has kitchen space, but no running water. I have 2 stoves, but I need to go to Barbecue Galore to get a cable because I've had trouble going to Bunnings and another place. So I plan to get this going. I bought a very expensive pump last week, and it is to use for distilling. I'm going to ask the guy who lives up just nearby here to help me do brewing. And I'm going to boil all of my alcohol. Then I'm going to make a brew of just sugar water. Unfortunately, last week I also bought 8 kilos of barley, but it's not cracked. It's malted, but it's not cracked. So the catch is that I need to now buy a grain grinder, which is a bit problematic. I spent a while cleaning this space up and just making it empty. And I've also started doing cable neat, making the cables neat, because it was very chaotic before. And so I can't now notice it when I walk in, but I can say that it is better. So I need to buy some double adapters, and then I can finish off my setup. And these things are really cool. You get a remote control, and then it is convenient when you've got lights up in the air and you need them as main switch lights. And so you have those with a double adapter, and then that's good. So my main goals right now is finding a base level in my heart. I have herbs growing all over the place, but I've only got 3 types of crops. I have a huge amount of evening primrose, so that's going to be an unusual thing that I've got. I can use the flowers, I can use the seeds, and I can also use the root. Perhaps I can make oil with the leaves. That would be great. So the other thing I have is 5 thyme bushes, and they've been growing for the same amount of time, maybe 4 months. And then I have calendula. I've got a small patch of calendula in comparison to the evening primrose. It's about a quarter. I have plantain, and again, that's the same thing, just a quarter. I have got a lot of herbs growing, and the lamb's ear is looking amazing. So that's exciting. And I need to wait. I need to give myself some time and wait for them to grow, because I have a vision of creating my own herb concoctions, and it would be really nice to use them a bountiful amount. So because I don't have bountiful amounts even in my first crop, it might take a little while, you know, to get used to having heaps of herbs. So it's quite a big plan. So then There's also the cosmetics. So I want to do herbs placed in very, very simple oils like lanolin and a really beautiful oil, and I will infuse the herbs from the or into the oils and then have a really basic face cream. And I don't want any, I want as little chemical reactions as possible, but if I could get some really nice chemical reactions, that would be good if they were all natural. I think that's very important. And as little production as possible, that's also crucial. And organic too. So I've also planted quite a few different squashes and gourds, and some of those are for little bottles. One's a bird cage, so they kind of go like that shape, and then there's the crown of thorn ones. So I was thinking, how lovely would it be if I made a beautiful concoction and could somehow make it a nice little bottle. And you'd have to put wax in there, but you could put beeswax in there, and you know, there's bees here, so that's quite incredible. And the windows, I need to buy some plaster, and I've got to plaster those windows. I mean, that's something that Eric will be doing, and I better get in there quick and do a few extra things, and because it will happen. And I want to have projects to really apply and grow from. So I would like them to be successful. So selling items is sort of where I'm at. You know, I guess it would be fresh herbs, even herbs. I would love to have I wouldn't necessarily love to have it, but I would think it was fun, and I also think that it's a good idea to have fresh herbs around, all magical fresh herbs. You don't see it very often, you know. So I'm just looking in the camera, and I'm just getting really tripped out by looking straight at the camera, and I can see my face, and I feel like I can see a lot of emotions that are coming through, and perhaps I feel as if they could be changing me. I have actually been listening to Feel Good YouTube. Phil, and then the word good. And he is an inspiration talker, and I'm highly inspired by him. He's been a little obsession for me, but he's really helped me. And it's interesting how you move from someone else on a YouTube video that I saw, which was We in 5D, and I would just listen to his tarot cards for Aries, and they were really moving. So it would have been April last year, so April 2023, and it's now November 2024, and just going through concepts, like I was going for a long drive, so I had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with, and he was talking about a situation, and I grabbed onto that situation. It was just through tarot, so it was very easy for anyone to pick up on it. And he was talking about situations which I could relate to, so I could connect to them and follow them and apply myself to them. And he would come up to different situations and explain them in really nice ways that challenged me for going down a certain path. And that took me a long time to sort of break into this new zone. And then I moved over to Feel Good, and he is really good. He said something recently about when you change inside, you will never be able to take on those old feelings again, which is a really positive way to sort of calm your nerves and let yourself move into that place. And so he's a really strong, positive guy. So when I was doing the peripheral vision thing, it's not such a nice experience. I feel like the feelings that I'm trying to release are coming to the top, and I feel like they are perhaps leaving me in some sense of having an awareness of those feelings, of these situations, but also the importance of owning what you're changing into or changing from. You know, I mightn't have a necessarily decided decision, but there's certain things about feeling strong in good changes and feeling appreciative that these situations are changing. Okay, so I did want to do this thing where I do this video and then in 1 week's time I can report back on what I did, and then also I can make a plan of what I would like to do for this coming week. And my main focus is just say I do have these little paper mache things that I need to perhaps get out of the bin because I let them puff up in the rain. I made recycled paper from recycled paper, and I made my own paper, and so now I didn't like it, so I just put it in the fire, and now it's turned to sort of mulch. It's sort of like turned into a bit of mushed up paper that I can mold. So I'm going to I've got 3D printed shapes that I put in front of them, but I can make them different colors. I can even plate them, make them look metal. And so I have paper, recycled paper that I've formed behind the shapes of a 3D print. So I probably should do that tonight. I think that might be a wise decision because there's a lot of heavy stuff that's going on right now, and I'm being very verbal, extremely verbal about it, but it's not because I'm decidedly breaking into a different world of behavior. I've been presented with a trigger that I haven't necessarily dealt with in a weird way. So now I'm in a very social situation, and it's really challenging my relationship because I've been talking to my partner about it, you know, and I'm feeling really threatened. I'm also feeling really challenged with my overexpressive honesty that is, fury, like fiercely angry, but just like saying, not like, you didn't, like, or I could actually be if my partner doesn't listen to me, but which is, it's pretty intense. And, but it's really, really honest. It's exactly what's going on my mind. So I'm exposing what's happening, and I'm saying I've got this thing, and I'll tell the whole scenario. This is what I'm thinking. These are the sort of imaginations, things that I'm imagining, and this is what I think you're doing, and maybe you shouldn't do it like this. And it's almost like I could pretend I'm crazy, but And then it's really intense because I feel completely crazy. I'm in this place, there's lots of people here. I need to somehow meld back in, and you know, that's pretty intense. Anyway, so I just want to finish off what I'm going to be, so I could make that, do a bit of that today when we're sitting around today. So heavy shit, like really heavy shit. So then by next week, okay, that can be my new inspiration, because the point is I'm not working. So I could also do this thing that I was thinking, maybe I could do a Airbnb cleaning business, but instead it would be called on-call changeovers, or it could be called carefree changeovers, or carefree changeovers. And so I thought maybe a business would be good, but that means I'd have to clean. So then if I was doing a lot of properties, eventually I got a lot of properties happening, then I could charge full-time cleaners $40 an hour. They could be together, 2 cleaners together, 4.5 hour shift each, so they get pretty good money, and it's a short shift, and then I would get a cut. So it's a pretty feasible thing, except that I would get a cut after doing a lot of cleaning or not making any money, but I would then be needing to meet at the property, assess the place, communicate if it's good or not, do free work if it's not good enough, and drive all over the place with my old car. So my hands are dirty because I've been gardening, okay? Oh. Well, I hope you found that interesting, okay? I will do another one next week, and hopefully it's going to change everything into being the right thing.